Okay, so full disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
When you first suggested hydrocephalus as a topic, I got to say, I was a little bit lost. I didn't really know much about it.
I hear that.
But
Yeah.
this book excerpt,
Yeah.
it's really amazing. Written by somebody, living with hydrocephalus.
Absolutely.
And
Or
it was
the-
just so eye-opening.
It is. It puts a human face on something that a lot of folks, they hear the word, they're like, what is that?
Yeah, exactly. And today, that's what we're doing, right? We're going
Yeah.
to kind of dive into hydrocephalus through, the experience of someone who actually lives with it every day.
I love that. It's like, we can read textbooks and we can
Yeah.
read medical journals, all that stuff. But to actually hear it from someone who's walking that path.
Totally. And the author's really trying to be a voice for, they point out, millions of people around the world who have this condition. And it's not talked about a lot, right? It's often,
Not at all.
misunderstood, overlooked.
Very much so.
From the very beginning, they make it clear that this book is, really their personal journey.
Yeah.
But they also point out that, while hydrocephalus affects everybody a little differently, there are these kind of shared experiences, or I think they call them fundamental issues, that many people with the condition, kind of
Right.
face.
Right.
And one of the things that really resonated with me, and I'm quoting here, they said, "People see my wheelchair, but they don't see the daily struggle with brain fog."
Oh, wow.
That's such a powerful statement.
Yeah. It's so true, though, isn't it? Like, we see the outward, the visible,
Yeah.
but we don't always grasp what's going on beneath the surface.
Yeah, and I think that really gets to the heart of those invisible challenges that, they come with hydrocephalus. It's not just about the physical symptoms, right?
Absolutely.
So maybe for me, for our listeners who, are just kind of learning about this for the first time, can you give us a little more context about those fundamental issues? What are some of the things that people with hydrocephalus actually experience?
Absolutely. So at its core, hydrocephalus is this buildup of fluid in the brain.
Okay.
And that increased fluid, it creates pressure. And that pressure can lead to a whole bunch of different symptoms.
Mm.
Some of the ones that we hear about pretty often, headaches, vision problems, trouble with balance and coordination, even, things like memory, concentration, like that brain fog that the author was talking about.
Wow. And the excerpt, it doesn't shy away from kind of the really tough stuff.
Yeah.
The author talks about, the frustration of constantly having to explain their condition, even to doctors.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like, here's something that affects millions of people.
Yeah.
And even within the medical community, there's still this lack of understanding sometimes.
Right. It makes you think about, the gaps in awareness and research.
For sure.
And I think it also underscores, why these stories, why this book is so important, right?
Absolutely. These firsthand accounts, they can bridge that gap.
Yeah.
They can educate not just, everyday people, but also the medical professionals.
Totally. Another thing that really struck me was how the author uses humor as a coping mechanism.
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like even in the face of these real challenges,
Yeah.
finding a way to laugh, to find that lightness.
Yeah, they joke about some of the challenges they face, and it's really a testament to that resilience,
It is.
and finding ways to navigate what is, a really difficult situation.
Absolutely. And you know what? That humor, it's not just for them, it's for us too, right? Like
Yeah.
it helps us connect. It helps us understand, maybe even in a way that just straight facts wouldn't.
Right. It breaks down those barriers.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really makes you think about, the strength that it takes to find humor in those circumstances.
Yeah.
So, as we're wrapping up this deep dive on hydrocephalus,
Yeah.
what's your big takeaway?
For me, it comes back to listening. We need to go beyond just seeing the wheelchair or hearing the diagnosis. We need to really hear the stories, the voices of people living with hydrocephalus, their experiences, their challenges, their triumphs.
Yeah. And it leaves us with something to think about.
It does.
How can we all be better advocates for those with invisible illnesses, right?
How do we create a world where everyone feels seen and heard?
Exactly. And understood.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thank you.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep thinking about this and other conditions that we need to be more aware of.
Couldn't agree more.
Awesome.
Thanks.